Did you know that Islam, the so-called religion of peace, allows Muslims to capture non-Muslim women and keep them as sex slaves? Here's the truth about Islam they don't want you to know. And before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe. One of the lesser-known aspects of early Islamic expansion is the practice of Muslims taking women as slaves, specifically female sex slaves, a reality justified through interpretations of Islamic scripture and law. In this video, we'll examine 5 real, historical examples where Muslim conquerors enslaved non-Muslims and took their women as concubines and sex slaves. At number 5, the Barbary slave trade, 16th to 19th centuries. From the 1500s to the 1800s, Muslim pirates along the North African coast, known as the Barbary corsairs, waged war against European ships and coastal towns. Tens of thousands of Christian women from Italy, Spain, France, and even as far as Britain and Iceland were captured and taken to Algiers, Tunis, and Tripoli. Many were sold in open slave markets or kept by wealthy North African men as concubines. While European nations tried to ransom their citizens, many Christian women disappeared into domestic servitude and sexual exploitation by Muslims. Number 4, the conquest of Sind, 711 AD. In 711 AD, a young Arab general named Muhammad bin Qasim led an Umayyad army into the Indian subcontinent. His mission was to punish local Hindu rulers for attacks on Arab merchants, but it quickly turned into a full-scale conquest. After taking cities like Dabal and Multan, thousands of civilians were captured. Indian women were enslaved and distributed among Muslim soldiers as gifts or rewards. Arab chroniclers such as al-Baladuri describe how prisoners, especially young women, were taken as war spoils in line with Islamic customs. These women often served as concubines or domestic slaves in Basra, Damascus, and other cities of the Caliphate. Number 3, the Ottoman conquest of the Balkans, 14th to 17th centuries. As the Ottoman Empire marched into southeastern Europe, it brought Islamic law and its accompanying views on slavery with it. Christian populations in the Balkans were often subjected to enslavement, and young Christian women were taken to serve in imperial harems or in the homes of Ottoman elites. One of the most famous examples is Roxolana, a Ukrainian Christian girl who was captured by Crimean Tatars and eventually became the legal wife of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. Ottoman Islamic law allowed having sex with enslaved women captured in jihad. This legal framework enables the continued sexual exploitation of non-Muslim women under Sharia law. Number 2, the East African slave raids, 8th to 19th centuries. For over 1,000 years, Arab Muslim traders conducted slave raids deep into East Africa. These raids captured millions, many of whom were women and children. While men were often sold as laborers or castrated to serve as eunuchs, women were frequently kept as concubines in the Arabian Peninsula, the Persian Gulf, and the Ottoman Empire. They were prized not only for domestic labor, but also for their sexual availability, which is allowed under Islamic law. The practice is deeply entrenched. In places like Zanzibar and the Swahili coast, entire economies were built on Islamic human trafficking. And finally, here's the one that Muslims don't want you to know about. Number 1, the Arab conquest of Persia, 7th century. Before Muslim Arabs invaded Persia, aka modern-day Iran, Persia was a Zoroastrian country. After the death of Muhammad, the Islamic Caliphate rapidly expanded. Under Caliphs Umar and Uthman, Arab Muslim armies swept across the Middle East, eventually toppling the once mighty Sassanid Empire of Persia, violently forcing Iranians to either convert to Islam or to be taken as slaves or executed. Persian women were prized by Arabs and were seen as valuable war booty. Among the most notable captives was Shahrbanu, the daughter of the last Sassanid emperor. She was taken by the Muslim army and reportedly married to Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet. Her story became symbolic of how Persian women were forced into Islamic society, sometimes through forced concubinage. What's the justification for taking women as sex slaves? The answer is in the Quran itself. The Quranic phrase, malakat aymanukum, those whom your right hands possess, appears multiple times in the Quran, including Surah 424. Islamic jurists interpret this to mean that female captives from war can be kept as concubines. That's why, to this day, radical Muslims still capture non-Muslim women and use them as sex slaves. Just Google Yazidi woman to find out more. So the next time someone tells you Islam is the religion of peace, Ask them why, to this day, Islam allows Muslims to have non-Muslim women, sex slaves, and ask them why non-Muslim women in the Middle East are still being kidnapped by Muslims